We just watched
Aashiqui. How do we pronounce that? Aashiqui?
That was great.
Maybe.
2.
Wait, maybe.
This
Aashiqui 2, yes. Correct.
This movie took a turn at the end.
It
It
did.
may be the biggest twist in an Indian movie that we didn't see at all coming.
Yeah.
That was pretty big.
It was pretty big.
Because at points, we've
We
been
had
able to see
no
some twists.
idea.
We
This was
literally
gonna
said
happen.
when he was driving away, we're like, oh, he's gonna
None
just
of
leave
us-
her and just go off.
Well,
and-
we're kind of
and some other
jumping
place.
too quickly to
Oh,
the
yeah,
end, I
yeah,
feel like.
right.
But wow.
But just
Yeah.
wow is right.
Yeah. This is it's not a musical, but it's like a music
it's dating
video.
a music. It's dating a musical.
Yeah, sure. It's loosely related.
Yeah.
It had some really
Yeah.
good music.
Yeah.
And the vibe, like the songs were very chill. I really like that. It wasn't like music video where everyone's dancing and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like
Right.
music video where it's everyone's sad.
Yeah.
Everyone's slowly singing a song about the
Yeah,
current,
but I
Yeah,
thought it worked pretty well in
Yeah.
this style of movie. I mean, it fit pretty well. It wasn't like out of place or anything.
Yeah. Yep. I
Um,
agree.
it's this movie is extremely dramatic. That's why it feels like a music video where it's slow shots with the music in the background almost all the time. That's what we noticed. With a couple noted exclusions to that rule, though,
Yep,
which is
where
actually
they
very
needed
interesting.
it to be
Yes.
very intense.
Yeah.
But there's always usually a soundtrack in the background. There's usually like maybe every 20,
But
25 minutes, then you
yeah.
have a solo song or something like that.
Yeah. It was interesting though how they had the songs almost the whole movie, and then like you were saying, at certain points there would be no music, and it was
Very few
super
points, but
powerful
yes.
with when it was like when there was no music and just
Yeah.
the sound of like the birds and stuff in that last scene. It was
That was good. There were two
Wow,
spots where there was no music that
Yep.
I can remember, and both of them were
Both
very
of them were
well
very
executed.
intensely
Yeah.
dramatic.
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah.
Mohit Suri was the director. Who was the writer? Isaac.
Shagufta.
Yeah.
Rafiki?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't know what he's
Mohit,
directed.
what is he
is
done?
that the guy that he actually, the actor? Look up, is that the guy?
That looks
He
like
played the manager?
That looks
does
like the
actually
Looks like
look
it.
a bit
Yeah.
like him.
Yeah.
I
Maybe?
don't know.
I mean, we could
No,
take a
I
look
don't
at the
think
cast.
so. Let's go to the cast.
Yeah.
Um,
But I would say
maybe not.
no, it's Vivek. This guy
Okay.
is the
Oh,
guy
that guy. Okay, never mind. He looks
Oh, yeah,
kind of
so
similar.
they do
Okay,
kinda
yeah.
look
They do.
Okay.
the acting I thought was really good.
Yeah, the two main leads are like really really good together. I feel like,
Right.
and I feel like it's well,
No,
Just
Mike's
looking at
just
one of those
looking at the
guy? Who
profile
played that
pic.
guy?
Shankar is
Shankar Seer.
Yeah.
Partha. Akhil.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Ben. What were you
anyway,
saying?
so
We got
Shraddha and
sidetracked.
Aditya,
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
very good together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Their eyes are just always
Lots of
locked on each
emotion.
other.
Yeah.
It's just so
Lots-
like it's very
Aditya
expression.
definitely
that man is a
stole the show
handsome
for
man.
sure.
Yes,
He's a handsome man. He was good at kind of being in that limbo period for most of the movie.
Yeah, he was pretty solid.
I will say this too. The movie was quite frustrating. In a good way. It was meant to be that way.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a movie about a guy dealing with an addiction.
and his
And you obviously don't want him to be addicted and have it ruin his life. And every other day, it's ruining his life.
Yeah.
And it's painful to watch.
yeah, it's about sacrificial love on her part.
Yeah, and
Which
he
is-
thinks he's sacrificing, or he thinks he is showing love by by doing these things, and it's like
I don't know, man. That's
it's
where
really tough.
that's
Well, and-
not the right way.
No, and I think the movie leaves it up for interpretation, like of like okay,
Right. His
like,
rationale.
what-
So the
it
end
just
we can
showing his rationale, but even though I do not,
So the
believe
rationale at
that's
the
right
end, he's
all.
like, I need to get out of
No,
her
he-
life because I'm hindering her, et cetera, which is a terrible reason, obviously.
Right.
I mean, it's a selfish way.
It's
to
never
live.
the answer to do what he
Right.
did.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, and I didn't like the ending guys, the Vivek's, that guy's like speech monologue at the
Well,
thing.
because he was saying, he was saying that he did the right thing.
Well,
I don't know if it was necessarily-
Well, no, that's what it
was,
sounded
That's what
like.
he was saying. He was like,
according to the
he
subtitles.
did that for you so that you could.
Could
Yep.
Yeah,
like, not
which it's
be
like, no,
him, basically.
he.
Yeah.
But then he was like,
selfish
but
act.
it didn't work or something.
That was so
And I was
selfish
like,
But
of him
she
to
was
do.
yelling at him, coward,
Correct.
which I was
Wow,
very
that
that was a
was-
powerful scene. It's
That's where I think I don't know what that or like that monologue that Vivek did at the end. I think was probably the director's intention of the movie. You know, because normally at the end they'll throw a little monologue in there. So I disagree with that monologue, but it's definitely a very interesting story.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, about someone who really loves this guy. And you know he loves her. He's there dealing with his issue, but she'll stick around for him to do
Yep.
that.
yeah, that's
And-
moving.
and
That's
then
the-
in
That is crazy.
From his view, he just sees it as, oh, I'm just an obstacle in her way. Like, and I can't. And it's really sad to see. But
we
no,
thought
but
he
like,
was gonna leave,
We did too.
and
yeah,
that
I
we
did too.
were kind of mixed
we were
about
like,
that.
okay, he's just gonna like
That
go
would have been
live
one
somewhere
thing.
else.
That would have
Yeah.
been one thing.
And get out of her. Yeah, see, that's the.
Yeah.
So
Maybe the correct
that's
way.
the correct way. Just going, if you really think you're an obstacle in somebody's life, just move to a different city.
Yeah, and it
Or-
was confusing because he
and-
said, "I'm going to go to the gym," and like all these things, like, "Hey, I'm going to change my
Yeah.
life," and then he just immediately doesn't.
Dude,
So
Yeah,
I was a
it
little
was-
confused. That
Well,
was
you
a bit
knew-
strange.
You knew he had relapsed, right? He already relapsed, meaning he knew
Right.
he wasn't going to be able to change, and that was his whole thing. I think though.
Well,
I mean,
that was
there's
his
always
thought.
his
That's his
thought,
thought.
right.
But there's always room.
But
to
that's where I
change,
think
even if-
what you need to do at that point is go to a clinic, right? There are clinics that for people that are suffering with that kind of an addiction, at least in America. I don't know if in India.
therapy.
But like,
and
I mean, yeah, that's where you need to go and seek help from professionals to get you
yeah.
off the sauce, dude. Like this happens all the time, and it ruins relationships and marriages and stuff. And,
yeah.
I mean, and that what he did at the end is not
yeah,
the answer.
Yeah.
You can't even say it on YouTube because they'll
No,
demonetize us
yeah.
if we say that what you did. Yeah, but like it's crazy. It's like a.
it's a caution. I feel like this was made as a cautionary tale, but then I don't think it was as powerful as it could have been because it was a little bit mixed message at the end. Even though like her scene with him, like she believed, like that was powerful.
Yeah,
but I don't know what exactly. Yeah, it's a little. Yeah, vague.
It's a spicy ending, that's for sure. I mean, it was definitely ballsy. I'll say that the way that they ended it. I mean,
Yeah, we didn't see that coming.
We did not see that.
It was very derivative.
Props,
it was very
by the way.
yeah. It made us think, which always like to. I mean, something that is out of the norm is always welcome.
Definitely
because it was very derivative until that point. Because it's like, okay, relapse, etc. It was kind of like, okay, you can see these story beats, and then we thought at the end he's going to be fine. They all live happily ever after, and then this came through and the ending,
like,
and it was
whoa.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
which did
actually-
hit us hard.
I thought he was gonna leave. I thought he was gonna like leave the town.
Yeah, I did too. That's what I thought.
Which
Because the song
was
was
another-
indicating that, and then we're like, oh wait, what's
Yeah,
going on?
the way that this ended was wild. But yeah, wow, what a movie, dude. Holy
lots of
schnapps.
twists, lots
It's
of
very
emotions,
it's
lots of
a lot of emotions. It's very
lots of stuff going on.
It's almost got it's a different feel, that's for sure.
And I'm
Yeah,
sure
it
people-
does feel different.
I
than
think
some of the
people
others
too
we've
that
seen.
have dealt with someone who's dealing with alcoholism really appreciate this movie because I'm sure it kind of helps their
Realistic in that
plight
way,
of this is tough to
yeah.
from her perspective of seeing that guy go through.
Yeah, it's
that
interesting
kind of
because
a
you
thing.
want her to leave him at certain points because he's really just not good for her.
Uh-huh.
But then you
7
appreciate the
average.
fact that she
7
is that dedicated.
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, no, it definitely is a
Yeah.
crazy situation.
Wait, go down a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
if
that's
there-
a bunch of
I thought
that's a
the
lot of
reviews were down
1 stars.
there.
Yep.
Trying to
Yeah.
offset
Well,
the
there's always a few. I mean,
Yeah,
in any movie.
I'm
there's
curious
ones
what the reviews say.
it
does it
yeah,
not
sure. We
show
can
it?
look at some. So IMDb, we're looking right now for some reviews. I enjoyed the movie. Selfless, heart wrenching is a great word for it. Yeah, I agree.
Definitely
That
addictive
Bravo,
music. It had some good
Yep,
music.
very good music. Yes. Yep.
It's a sad, it's a tragic,
Yeah.
Tragic
movie.
love story. Yeah.
So one question is, we didn't see the original. So is this a remake or is this a sequel? I assume it's a remake.
I would like to
of the
begin with the
original.
fact that this film is remade,
Okay.
or its sequel is planned after decades, and there's simply no grounds for either.
Okay. So it's a remake of the original then.
Yeah.
It looks like. Okay, interesting.
Wow, this guy wrote
A
very
very
long
long
review.
review,
He did
wow.
not necessarily like it as much. A decent watch.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Definitely people. There are some people that really like this movie. It's interesting too. I mean, what are some people? Total
Yeah,
Bones.
there's.
Must watch. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's why people wanted us to watch it. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for the
Some of all of them.
recommendation. It was a heavy movie.
It
but-
would definitely
forces
was.
the hero to collect the tomato. Yeah, no, that was a bit cheesy. It's true.
Yeah.
There were some really
Yeah.
contrived parts
There-
just
there
to
were.
get
There
like
were.
the,
There were.
but
There were.
I-
It was
I
a
do-
love story though.
it
I
was,
kind
yeah.
of knew that going in.
Yep.
yep, for
Me
sure.
too.
For sure.
It definitely took a turn though in terms of how serious it got.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing necessarily.
We
but
couldn't believe it.
The
We-
level
we
of
were
cheese,
shocked,
Well,
like,
yeah,
at the end there.
I guess the level of cheese at the beginning was a bit odd if you compare it to the ending, but the ending was just
Mm-hmm.
so shocking. I think that was, no one would be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Overall, wow, what a movie though.
yeah, you always appreciate a movie that is just not like the norm.
Yeah,
It makes
this
you
is-
think, and this one did that.
Yeah,
I think.
and it explores a scenario that I
Yeah.
think a lot of people go through in their life. I mean, none of us are really in a position where we've dealt with this type of thing.
Right.
But I mean, this is probably very impactful for a lot of people that are in this kind of position where they have a spouse or partner who's addicted to something,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Substance or alcohol or something like that. Like,
Yep.
sure, that must be a tough situation, and it looks very tough too.
Yeah, and she showered him with love the entire
She
time.
did, which
and
broke
it's like,
your heart.
How, it's
Oh,
like, how are you, bro?
she was
What's
so
going
It
on?
broke your heart because there is a fine line too at that point. They didn't really go into that because
They
he
didn't,
he
yeah.
never really was abusive per se. He
Right,
got
right.
a little bit hairy
Yeah.
in the middle, but there is a point though where you do need to be like, all right, we got to call it.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
Because your personal safety is at a point too.
Yeah,
In that one movie that we Darlings, right? When the guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you know,
that was.
That was
That
one
guy
extreme where he
needed
got
to-
on the sauce and he
to
got
get
crazy,
out of-
right?
yeah,
And so that's
yeah.
Man
Yikes.
11, boys.
Man,
What
what a
else we
movie! Do we want to get
Oh,
into
yeah,
ratings?
ratings, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't even take a look at Letterboxd yet. I got to rate it.
Man, yeah, this is.
Let
oh,
her
this
be,
is-
boys. Let her be.
Okay.
Guys, follow us on Letterboxd if you haven't already.
Oh man, I haven't written a review in years. Got to get on that.
This
Oh,
movie
yeah,
is
the review.
definitely a thought provoker. It is interesting.
True.
It is a little divisive. It looks like on the ratings, just in general.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's pretty. It's a unique style that I think some people will be really like. Oh my good.
Yeah,
my goodness,
the
this is
the
hard."
music was very interesting. How it was just musical throughout. I wonder how much we're going to be able to include in the YouTube video, guys. So sorry if there's not a lot in there.
Yeah, I don't know.
YouTube is pretty strict these days on what we can do.
Very
we already got a
strict.
strike recently on one that we had out there, so we don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
You only get 3 of those, so you don't want
Yep.
to have anything happen. But
All right, yeah. What is our ratings?
who
I
wants
mean,
to go first?
Okay.
Yeah, I
Ben-
think we
Benny
might
boy?
have similar. All right, I'll do 3.5. It was a
Yeah.
3 until the end because I was like, "Whoa, didn't see that coming."
Mhm.
I'm
Yep,
sad.
I'm 3.5
Maybe.
also.
Okay,
yeah.
I'll give it a 3.
Okay.
I'll
okay,
keep it
okay.
a 3.
Yeah, I was between 3 and 3.5.
I agree with Ben in that I was thinking of a 3 most of the
And
movie
then the ending.
until the.
Yeah, I
when-
agree. The ending,
Like it
was
really went deep at near the end, and just it turned from like a cheesy romance to like something deeper, and I was like, okay,
great. It definitely.
it was.
did.
I don't
gutsy
know how
that
this
they
would
tried
hold-
this.
hold up in repeat viewings. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I'd
Watch
want
it
to
again.
watch
It's too
it again.
sad to
Yeah.
watch it
It
again.
is really sad.
But honestly, though, there are some movies that you could watch once and it's
and
probably
still
okay.
give it a good
Yeah,
rating.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
like
I've
it's
done
still a
so,
good
yeah.
movie. It's
Yeah.
just it's hard to watch.
Well, there's plenty of
more
movies
than
like
once,
that we'll
Oh
watch.
yeah,
Well,
tons.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, a movie that I think a movie that leaves you contemplating is a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
So
Yeah, that's our
there you go,
review
guys.
Yeah,
of
that's that.
Aashiqui 2. Make sure to vote on the next movie in the Google Forms.
Yep.
And
Patreon, follow us.
Patreon. Yeah.
Right.
Indeed.
Peace.
Well, we'll see you in the
Bye.
next one.